Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another edition of NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ, Aaron Rift. Halloween is rapidly approaching. We have Raw this coming Monday with the Muppets invading, but for now, we have your questions regarding the world of professional wrestling. What are your thoughts on the empty arena match between The Rock and Mankind during halftime of the Super Bowl in 1999? I thought it was awesome. I think it was a great idea by WWE to have that match take place during halftime heat and get that exposure for WWE. And what better way to have it than a match between The Rock and Mankind? The Rock was at the prime of his career. He was just at his best for that match. He was there with Mankind just doing all the comedy and just being very, very funny. I love that match. Definitely one of my favorites. What do you think was Mr. McMahon's best match? I think his street fight with Triple H in 1999. My favorite Vince McMahon match was probably, I think, with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 19. I think that match was as good of a match as you were going to get with those two guys. They both worked really hard. They had the storytelling. It wasn't the best technical match, but I think in terms of actually working a match, I think that was Vince's best match because like the street fight with Triple H and the match with Austin at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, it was mostly Vince selling. Although I think in the Triple H match, Vince was the babyface, so he was getting in there doing some stuff. But I think with Hogan, it was actually kind of like a back and forth match between those two, and it was at WrestleMania, and also the match with Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 17 was really good too. So I mean, Vince had some good ones. What did you think about the documentary Card Subject to Change? I thought it was very well presented and non-judgmental. Also, there were guys you were pulling for, like Rhett Titus in the movie. I saw it on Netflix a few weeks ago, and you can check it out. It's on the Instant Queue. I thought it was very well done. It profiles a bunch of different indie wrestlers. Some of them are legendary WWE stars like Kamala. They had Kevin Sullivan on there, and then you had a bunch of the lower name guys, and they even had like a couple guys that were like the opening match, and then didn't really work out for them, and they became referees or whatever. It was a good look into the world of indie wrestling and a good introduction if you're a casual fan and you're kind of getting interested more into how wrestling works behind the scenes. It's a good documentary to watch for those people. Does TNA Impact Wrestling come off more scripted when they have episode names for each episode that gives a hint of that episode of Impact Wrestling? Yeah, I've never been a big fan of them having the title of the show at the beginning. It just, I'm trying to suspend disbelief when I'm watching wrestling. And when I see that at the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is scripted, so whatever. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Aaron, what do you think about all the Twitter talk on WWE lately? I find it really annoying. WWE spends more time talking about Twitter than the matches sometimes. Okay, here's the situation. WWE apparently has some kind of business relationship with Twitter. That's why WWE is mentioning Twitter constantly. How long is this going to last? Probably at least until WrestleMania. I think they're going to keep that relationship going, but then when the next big trend comes along, WWE will just drop Twitter probably out of nowhere. This is just the flavor of the month type deal with WWE. The thing I find funny is that they're just now jumping on this Twitter bandwagon. And I just wanted to make note that I started the NoDQ.com account on Twitter in March 2009. So that's when I figured that Twitter was going to be the next big thing. And I got on there and started the account for NoDQ. And now here in October 2011, WWE's finally making this huge deal out of Twitter. So I just found that really funny. What did you think about Triple H not mentioning Scott Hall when he mentioned the other Clique members on Raw last week? It seems odd to me when Nash mentioned Hall a month or so ago, and then Triple H's own wife appeared in the ESPN documentary on Scott Hall. You can say Stephanie McMahon, it's okay. I think the reason they didn't mention Hall is because they don't really want to glorify him right now and bring too much attention to him with all the negative stuff going around right now. I think they'd rather downplay it. That's why they didn't mention his name, and his name probably would have gotten a big pop if they said it, although crowd didn't really react much to Sean Waltman, so maybe they wouldn't have reacted much to Scott Hall. But yeah, I think that's why they didn't mention him. They just want to keep it on the down low for now when he's dealing with all of his problems, and not make light of everything going on with him right now. Is John Morrison's current status with WWE attributed to the situation with Melina, or is it another situation? Yeah, it's pretty much the deal with Melina, especially the incident at WrestleMania with John Morrison and Melina and Trish Stratus. And, it's just an unfortunate circumstance for Morrison. Like I've said before, there's a similar situation with Drew McIntyre and Tiffany. They had their problems, and Tiffany ended up losing her job, and McIntyre ended up in the WWE doghouse. And now Morrison's also in the doghouse, and as we mentioned before, it looks like he's on his way out. He's been losing every week on TV, and his contract is said to be coming up pretty soon. So, yeah, and it's hard to believe that a year ago, a lot of us thought that 2011 was going to be his breakout year, and he was going to finally get to that main event level, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen now. How do you think WWE would treat Chris Benoit now if he had only taken his own life and not his wife and child's lives as well? Would they acknowledge him more if that had been the case, or would have they swept him under the rug? I think it wouldn't have been as bad if he had just killed himself. It's because he killed his wife and killed his son that, if he had just killed himself, it probably wouldn't have gotten that much media coverage. But because he killed his wife and his son, that, it was a media frenzy. So that's why WWE, went out of their way not to mention him at all because of all the negative publicity they got. Judging from the incredible response Nash received when he returned as Diesel, why did WWE revert him back to the same old boring Kevin Nash gimmick? The fans loved Diesel, and he already had the dark-haired look. It seems like WWE screwed the pooch. That's an interesting phrase right there. As far as Kevin Nash goes, I don't really think it matters if he's Kevin Nash or Diesel. I think the people popped for him because he was, he's the same guy basically. It doesn't matter what his name is called. The people popped for him at the Rumble because he's a big star from the past, and, they weren't expecting him to be there. That's why and it was, more hardcore fans. Also, I think the reason why he is Kevin Nash and not Diesel is because, it's the reality era, and the Diesel gimmick is just kind of gimmicky, and there's just really no point. He's just Kevin Nash. Everyone knows him as Kevin Nash, so why call him Diesel again? Why go back to 1995? Just, Kevin Nash is what he's been known as for, the past 15 years of his career. All right, that about does it for NoDQ&A video. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, youtube.com/NoDQ&AV. Let me know what you think about the videos, and stay tuned for more. And please keep spreading the word. Thanks for checking us out.